Chapter 1 of Ignited, the Fall of the Rising Hero. Rivals till the better end. Searchlights scanned the sky as the orange-haired vigilante hid in the shadows of the Border Patrol building. His muscular body camouflaged by black clothing, in contrast to his orange ponytail that hung over his pale, freckled neck. Shifting positions, he hopped from the wall in Mexico behind one of the empty FBI trucks in Arizona. He knew he shouldn't be here, that he could get into trouble by sneaking onto the crime scene and talking to a recently captured convict. But something compelled the vigilante to see the prisoner one last time before they drug him away to the depths of the underground prison, where he'll rot away, never seeing the sun for the rest of his life. Looking out from behind the truck, the vigilante saw his target. There was no mistaking his rival's messy black hair that strewn all over the place, as his pale head faced towards the ground of his cage. Because, for whatever reason, he had tied his clothes to the roof of the cage and was hanging upside down on them like a gymnast in a circus. In nothing but his black heart-print boxer briefs. The vigilante looked around for guards, but saw there weren't any. That fucking emo twink is definitely up to something, the vigilante thought, as he got up from his crouching position and stood up to the truck with his enemy's cage on the back of it. And why do you look so happy? You fucked up trying to cross the Mexican border into Arizona. They're gonna put you away for life, burying you deep into the earth, never to be brought out again. Fucking psycho. The villain in the cage's green eyes narrowed, snapping up from the metal cage floor to the muscular vigilante's freckled face. A wide grin plastered itself across his small Japanese features. Why, Ignited? What a pleasant surprise. You've come just to see me? The vigilante hated the way the mad scientist's eyes would gleam when he talked to him. He knew those eyes meant he was up to something. That's Phoenix to you. If you dare use my old hero name again, I'll... Phoenix shook his head. The locks of orange hair that lay in his ponytail swayed back and forth. I only came here to see you put away in the underground cell, where you'll be left to beg on your hands and knees every day just to see the sun for a few more minutes. So you want me to beg for it? The villain said, licking his lips. Oh, Ignited, you're such a brute. But I would expect nothing less from my favorite hero, said the villain, swinging upside down on his clothes. What are you up to, Quixotic? Growled Phoenix. Fan service, whispered Quixotic, hooking his legs to the bar of his cage. That's when Phoenix noticed Quixotic's clear outline through his tight boxer briefs. Jesus fuck, murmured Phoenix. I figured you'd like it. Quixotic laughed, licking the bars of his cage. I'm not talking about your fucking balls, Phoenix scowled, crossing his muscular arms. I'm talking about why you were in Mexico, and why you are now in this cage. As much as I would like to just laugh in your face, I find it hard to believe you were just caught trying to cross the border. No, you're too smart for that, he said more to himself than to his foe. Oh, Ignited, you flatter me. Mexico, why? Streamers. What? Streamers are cheaper in Mexico. The vigilante's brown eyes started twitching as he stared at the smiling man in the cage. Okay, where are your streamers now then? You can try to guess. Quixotic smiled, grinding his crotch on the bars in front of Phoenix's face. Excuse me? You're excused. Oh, you know what would be cool? While I have you here, you could do that one move for me. Phoenix quirked his eyebrow. Quixotic continued. You know, that move you do when you take down all your villains. I think it's called the Fire of Fury! Pew, pew, pew! Quixotic giggled as he held out one of his arms, as if to fire a fireball out of it. The vigilante kept his arms crossed, as his scowl started to turn into a soft frown. Oh, come on, I'm your #1 fan, said Quixotic. I know you love me. What are you talking about? Scoffed Phoenix. I hate you so much it makes me want to straight up vomit whenever I see your fugly face. He finished off his sentence, flipping off the man who was grinding his crotch on the cage. But the cage foe just laughed this off. Let me ask you something. Why else would you follow me across the border and back? You spent the better part of the past 10 years following me around. If I didn't know any better, I would say that you were infatuated with me. I bet I'm the only person you really have in your life anymore. Phoenix's face contorted into a scowl so purely full of rage, his face features were hardly recognizable. Oh, that's a face, laughed Quixotic. Who's the fugly one now? But Phoenix was hardly listening anymore. All the rage inside of himself bubbled up to the surface. Everything around him faded except for Quixotic's smug face.
You know why I'm chasing after you, so wipe that shit-eating grin off your slimy face and get your fucking balls out of mine,
yelled Phoenix. Balling his hand into a fist, he swung into the bars of the cage at Quixotic's face. When Quixotic backflipped off of his clothes, he was just using as a circus ribbon. In the same moment, Quixotic's feet touched the cage floor. He tied the sleeve of his lab coat around Phoenix's wrist, finishing off his handiwork with a rough tug on the outfit. Losing his footing at the sudden force, Phoenix hit his head on the bars of the cage, falling forward onto his knees. Quixotic went to the back of the cage, tapping on the window of the back of the truck. It didn't take long before there was the sound of an engine starting. Phoenix groggily looked down at the white sleeve tied around his wrist. He felt it tug. His brown eyes followed the sleeve up to the roof of the cage, where it was also tied. The truck the cage was on began to move. That's when what was finally going on pieced itself together in Phoenix's mind. Shit! Shit! Phoenix quickly leapt up, jogging at a brisk pace to keep up with the truck that was pulling him. Quixotic looked down at Phoenix through his dark bangs, with a coy smile on his face that fueled Phoenix's anger. I'm going to kill you! Oh, come on, Phoenix. The other guards might have put their guard down because I didn't have any superpowers of my own. But surely you didn't forget that I had a friend here who has the power to possess electronics within a 5-mile range now, did you? Phoenix tried untying the sleeve that was tied around his pale, freckled wrist, but it only got tighter as the truck picked up speed down the dirt road. He then pulled a pistol out of his side holster. He put his finger on the trigger when the truck hit a bump, causing Phoenix to drop the gun. The bullet ricocheted off the rearview mirror as it tumbled down the road out of sight. Fuck me! Using a gun like a defect without superpowers? No, that's not the superhero way, Ignited. Why don't you use your flame powers like a real hero? I'm going to kill you for kidnapping me and taking away my fire powers, you powerless nobody. I want revenge! Phoenix remembered the night he last used his flame powers 15 years ago. The night he was kidnapped by Quixotic. It was fresh in his memory, like he had happened recently. The night that he was at the height of his hero career. The night the hero Ignited died.